say, welcome to Charlotte. I found out about Charlotte from my friend Amber, who was just gushing over her, and said, you've got to talk to her about branding and graphics and just making sure that everything is, has continuity. And I had no idea what I was in for. Not just rebranding our team or me, but also Charlotte spends a lot of time with people listening. And she pulls things out of you that you might think are like, meh, not that special. And she's like, whoa, 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 go back to that. That's just amazing. And you have got to talk about that because that's incredible. That makes you you. And so Charlotte and I have had many, many conversations, and I have Google Docs, and she's hard on you. She's like, I'm not talking to you again until you finish your Google Doc. And I was like, having a little hissy fit over here because I didn't do my homework, and I got called out and smacked on the wrist or the hand. And so now, after doing all of this unique content that is me, after Charlotte took all that time to listen, there's so much I can share about that nobody can share about the way I can. Does that make sense? And so when she was asking what to talk about, I was like, well, just be you for that. That's like the first thing, is just talk to them about what you do, but also remind them that they're the only them that will ever be, and not to discount their unique journeys, stories, things that you can share that nobody else can. And don't ever, I'm going to say it wrong. Don't ever be afraid. It's not the word, but you know what I mean? Don't ever think, no one's going to care about that. Yes, they are. Somebody will. So I'm going to turn this off and let Charlotte do what she does.
I can't figure out my lighting situation, so y'all tell me.
Clearly. Well, you look gorgeous, so.
Sorry. I never really.
No, I mean, clearly I haven't got mine figured out is what I was trying to say. Not clearly. Oops.
Well, I think you and I are both off today because we're both wearing white, and that never happens.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know. That's why I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands. But hi everyone, thanks for jumping on this call. I guess I will just jump straight in. So my name is Charlotte Buñol. I am branding boss and graphic artist behind GB Graphics, previously known as Girlboss Graphix. And I've worked with a lot of the top coaches, and I help them figure out what they do and why they do it and what their story really is. And those people who feel like they're lost, if they feel like they know that they have something to give and they know that they're made for more, they just don't really know how to express it and how to really show others that they want to help them and they want to make a difference in this world. I take those people and I help them figure out how to do it, how to tell their story well, how to attract the people they're looking to attract, how to build relationships, and how to show a sense of empathy in your posts to not only your audience, but to yourself. Like, the more empathy you show to others and the more you try to view things from different perspectives, the better you're going to be at business. Like, it's just about building relationships and then learning to step out of your own shoes for a second and step into the person on the other end of the conversation and really view it from their perspective, and then adjust your strategy or technique accordingly. Like, you have to learn to really map your way around a sales situation. Like, I don't like to call it sales. I like to call it relationships and building relationships. But I think that's so important, to be empathetic and mindful and intentional with each individual person, because as Lauren can tell you, your team is going to consist of multiple different people, all that fit and match with you in some way or another, but they might not all match with you along the same field. You know what I mean? Like, you're spread into a bunch of different fields. That's the wrong word. You're spread into a bunch of different paths, and you could hang out with like the boho chick one day and be cool with her, and then you could be hanging out with like a corporate businesswoman the next day and be cool with her. Like, we relate with each other, not just on one massive thing. We relate with people on individual, unique experiences that we can then connect with each other and learn from each other. And just like getting people to say, me too, like, or, oh, I have a cat too. Oh, what kind of cat is that? It's a Persian. Oh, I had a Persian when I was 5 years old. You know, like, it's just building the relationship and making the other person feel important. Because, hold on, let me go back to the paths. So like Lauren's team has a bunch of different paths. Like, she has a path to everything that makes her who she is. And each individual person on this call probably is connected with Lauren in some way or another. And it's just that big web that we weave. And we have to take care of that web and make sure that we're constantly, you know, building relationships and keeping those relationships alive, not letting that web get broken some way or another. Just like Moira was talking about on the team call, or on the wake up call this morning. You have to manage those relationships, and you have to book calls with your coaches every week. Keep connecting with them. I know I told Lauren to do that. I tell all of my coaches to do that, is, you know, spread your coaches out at least over the course of a month. All of your downline coaches, not all of your downline, all of your personally sponsored coaches, and spread them out over the course of a month, and have a call with each of them every month. You don't have to schedule it. Don't make it so professional. Make it more friendship-wise, relationship, and just pick up the phone and call them. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail. People are shocked to get a phone call nowadays. Like, it doesn't have to be planned, but you got to try to keep that relationship alive, because with no communication, relationships die. That's really good. With no communication, relationships die. So I think all of those things are really important in managing your relationships and your customer base and your prospects and your leads. Like, they've had studies that show it takes like 7 or 8 times of you contacting a person for them to finally follow through. So don't give up on people. Don't like get discouraged because people keep telling you no. People, I can't tell if this picture, I think it's a picture, but she just looks like she's frozen. I'm not going to say who it is, but whatever. I thought she was on video and I was talking to her, but then it's just a picture. So, I have a presentation I could give. Lauren, what do you want me to do? I have a lot of stuff in here to share, but I don't know what to share really. I guess, let me ask you this. I like to do these team calls sort of customized to what you and your team need and what y'all struggle with the most. And so maybe let's open this up to them, or you can even tell me what your biggest struggles are and how it's debilitating you, how it's stopping you from moving forward and making moves and being audacious and confident and all of those things that it takes to be a coach. Or I can do my like little presentation.
I kind of think it'd be cool if, you know, you guys have the floor. You know, this is definitely a cool opportunity to sit here and talk with Charlotte, who's kind of an unbiased party. You know, she's worked with a lot of coaches. She has a lot of expertise and, dare I say, wisdom. And so if there's something holding you back, or you feel like there's something that we can do better as a team, don't feel like anybody's feelings are going to be hurt, because we're a team. And to get better, we've got to communicate, like she said. I shared something today. I went live on Instagram. It was just totally random. And if there's something in your life, something in your business, something that's happening right now, and you feel like, well, you know, it's not working for me right now, so I'm just going to abandon it. Or that didn't work in the past, or that person hurt my feelings, or, you know, the team has changed, or my business has changed, and now I'm just going to give up. Don't. There is a beautiful plant that's outside in the front of my house, and it is my favorite plant in our entire yard. I didn't plant one dang plant here, so the fact that they're green is a miracle. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gorgeous. And last year it rotted. It died. Like, the whole thing just fell over and snapped. And I was so sad because these leaves are like over my head, and I just kind of feel like Thumbelina, or it's something like really cool. And, you know, you just feel like you're just this little girl in a garden, and the whole thing died, rotted. It was gross. It smelled funny. Like, I was like, this is never coming back. And our little yard guy, Josh, was like, I don't know what to tell you, Lauren. I can't tell you that it's going to come back. And I just kind of gave up. You know, it was like this beautiful thing that it brought so much enjoyment. And like, I loved taking pictures out there, doing handstands. It was dead. And today, as I'm driving in the driveway, there's all these little shoots coming back up. And it just was one of those things that reminded me that there are very few things in life that and we've watered it, we've tended to it, we've cared for it, that won't come back. And it just kind of was one of those parallels with like life, business, goals, anything that you really love and you put time into, and maybe it didn't go perfectly as planned, and maybe you thought, crap, I screwed that up, or crap, that's dead, or that's never going to be what it was. It will. You've just got to put time and effort into it and trust the process and keep going and keep tending to it. And I was like, I think that's what consistent building coaches do. And throughout all of the like craziness of life, the ups and downs, the things that are out of our control, we keep going. And so, you know, if there's something that you guys want to talk about individually, this is a safe place. I don't even have to record it if you don't want to. It can just be kind of one of those like private things that we've got. But, you know, I've voiced my frustrations with my business, with our team before, and just, you guys know I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to take offense to anything. And I'm not saying that this is a call to call people out. But if there's something that you want to talk about with Charlotte, questions you have about branding, questions you have about how do you tell your story, maybe anyway, I'm going to shut up now. It's your turn. It's your floor.
Nobody's really jumping the gun and typing what we should talk about, but I have a good idea of what I could talk about, and it kind of goes along with the presentation that I have prepared, but I just hate doing the presentation because I am such a relationship person. So I'm just going to go into it then without my presentation, so I can look at all of you and see your faces judging me. I'm kidding. So I started GB Graphics about 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And it started because I initially was a Beachbody coach, and I was working to really build my business and just getting started in building my business, actually. And so I was doing both at the same time. I had a coach, one of my upline coaches, tell me, hey, you're really good at making graphics. Can I pay you to make them for my fitness studio? And I was like, you would actually pay for that? Like, that's a thing? And of course, hell yeah, I would love that. So that's where it really started. And then her upline was Mindy Lawhorn. And Mindy Lawhorn, I designed her Hope and Struggle ebook. And from there, she shared my information with Janelle Summers, and Janelle I built Janelle's brand and cover photos and all of that stuff. And then Janelle shared me on a YouTube training video. So from there, it just kind of exploded. And since then, I've worked with close to 450, close to 500 at this point, actually, entrepreneurs, small business owners, network marketers, to help them build their brands and tell their stories well. And I built all of that. I was initially a Beachbody coach, but then this exploded so fast that like I'm still a Beachbody coach, but I've never worked the business. So that's that. But the reason I got there, I want to go back even further than that. The reason I got there is because I was forced to discover my power. I was forced to prove that I was made for more and really live my passion and my purpose, because I was at rock bottom, and rock bottom builds more heroes than privilege. So it's almost like you have to get to that rock bottom before you can thrive. And, you have to be that seed planted underneath the concrete, like Lauren talks about. And you have to break through all of those barriers when nobody believes that you can, nobody. And so that happened to me whenever I was actually meeting with a coach who had just purchased a challenge pack and Ultimate Reset, which is a huge like purchase, right? Like, hell yeah. So I need to meet with her. So I met with her at the country club. We are members of the country club because my husband's a professional golfer. And so that's where he practices. So I was like, hey, I'll take her to the country club. That's nice, you know, whatever. We're like in our late 20s and being members is really fancy. So I was like, hell yeah. So I took her to the country club. We had a couple appletinis, and then we went back to her house and had some wine. And she lives like a mile from where I used to live. And so I was driving home that night. I get pulled over, taken to jail, DWI. And like, what the hell am I going to do? It's okay, blah, blah, blah. A few months go by, and then my job finds out. And I was the chief marketing officer for a financial planning and money management firm at the time. And I was, before that, I did sales for State Farm. I know I'm going off into a bunch of side stories, but just want y'all to know my background, because that's really what's built me into creating what I created for myself. All of my past has really added, I've added up all of those talents, and now I'm able to help people individually instead of working to build somebody else's dream. So I got a DWI, and then my job found out and they fired me. And so my parents were like, Charlotte, you got to go find a job before that hits your record. You need a steady job. You need a steady income, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I went back to State Farm and I secured a job with my old agent, who was the #1 agent in the country for State Farm. And I was the #1 salesperson within 6 months. And that's why I kind of moved on to another job, because I was like, what do I do now? I don't want to be an agent. So I went back to him. I actually secured $7,000 more than my previous salary with him. But my background check kept not coming back. And he couldn't give me my alias to log into the computer to actually work. So I was like, okay. And then I went home after what was supposed to be my first day. And I finally decided, I was like, you know what? My business is growing. I have a lot of clients. I'm busy as all get out. Why am I getting this stupid job? Like, I don't need a job to waste my time from 8 to 5. I have plenty to do from 8 to 5. And so I called my parents and I said, look, I really respect what you've told me and I respect your opinion and what you think I should do, but I'm an adult now and I know this is working and I'm going for it. And I called my agent the next day and I told her, I told him rather, I don't want your job. My background check's not coming back because there's something trying to go on it, and I'm going to go for my business. And I did. And 10 months later, I had made 6 figures in 10 months. And so like I went from unemployable. I had $25,000 of credit card debt at the time. My previous job, I was making $30,000 to 6 figures in 10 months. And it's all because I believed in myself when nobody else did. Like my parents were like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, you're in so much trouble, but it's not like the trouble you get whenever you're a little kid. It's the trouble like you're an adult now and you have to deal with that. And you have to figure out a way to overcome that and get through it. And that's on you. We can't help you any. So it was all like a mindset thing. It was all just true grit and giving myself grace. And I think having that belief in yourself and that ability to just look past all of the negative and the evil that world is trying to show you and tap into your higher self and tap into your higher power, which isn't you at the end of the day. It's God-given, it's the angels, it's whatever you want to call it, it's the universe. But the universe really does have your back, and you just have to speak out whenever you're needing them and not be afraid of what lies in front of you. Because I think it's fear that stops us from doing things. I wasn't going to let anything stop me because I was already at my lowest. Like I had destroyed everything that I had built, relationships, my record, my job history, like all of that stuff was just kind of destroyed, and it was only up to me to get out of it. So I did. And I guess, yeah, I like that quote too. I guess I'll just go into telling you more of the story. I'm hesitant, but so whenever you get a DWI, you're sentenced to 30 days in jail. And my attorney managed to get it so I served 2 for 1, so it was 15 days in jail, right? And I could serve it via labor detail. Labor detail is where you have to go work at the jail at least 1 day a week from 7 to 3, like cleaning or doing something, I don't know. Like I worked at the chaplain's office most of the time, and so I had to do 15 days of that. So 15 weeks of that because I only had to go once a week. So I show up one day and only 3 other girls show up. And one of the jobs is cleaning the whole jail. It's a 13-story jail. I know it at least takes 11 girls to clean a 13-story jail, and there's 3 other girls there. I had snuck my phone in because I'm a rule breaker like that. And I went to the bathroom, acted like I was throwing up, and I left. I had already been once that week. I figured I'm good. I'm going. I'm leaving. I have business to do. Oh, I'm sick. Tell them I'm sick. Well, the next Sunday, I showed up again to do, and like I said, I had already showed up once that week. So I was good for that week, as I thought. I showed up the next Sunday. They put me in handcuffs and took me to jail for the next 7 days. I spent 7 days in a cell with about 30 other women, and it changed my life. Like Orange is the New Black, I started watching that finally like a month or 2 ago. I just bawled my eyes out because it was so real. Like it's awful. You never want to go to a place like that. And I wasn't there because of the decisions I had made a year or so ago or months ago with the DWI. I was there because of me being a princess and so self-absorbed and so worrying about what my needs and wants and desires are and trying to make those happen rather than paying attention to what is right and what's wrong. Stop trying to cut corners, stop trying to work the system, and so I think just like recognizing that, and that really shaped my business a lot too. And the last day that I was in jail, my grandfather passed away. I have all of my grandparents except him now. So that was really tough. So yeah, I think it's just learning to overcome anything and not being afraid to share your story, because you think it's easy for me to get on here and have my like little pink wall and my Barbie doll vibe, whatever, and sit here and tell you, dude, I went to fucking jail for 7 days. Like, it's not. But it's the stories like that that actually get people's attention. I have all of y'all's eyes on me right now. And that never happens. And one girl that has her eyes on me and she's smiling at me, but it's really her picture. So I'm sorry, whoever you are, I can't even see your name. But so learning to tell your story, learning that everybody goes through shit, and that's how you connect with other people. Those struggles, and I don't want to sit here and say that you have to share a struggle in order to connect with people. But I'm sorry if you're sitting there saying, I don't have a struggle, I don't want to talk about struggle, or I don't have any really, my life's great. You're lying to yourself. There's something deep rooted that you're hiding from everybody that you need to face that demon yourself, overcome it, and then share it. I haven't been able to share all of that until just recently. And that happened 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So you do have to overcome the shit, but I can also say that talking about it and stuff, and as you're going through it, talking about it, at least with your team and the people closest to you, letting them know what's going on maybe. And they're seeing the hustle that you're doing on the other side of things. They're not seeing you as the person you're seeing yourself as. Like, you have to start seeing the best in you and looking at you how you want other people to look at you. That's really key. Like, see yourself as you want others to see you. And so, sorry, I'm reading your comments. Yes, I agree with all of that. You're not your past, and you're not your future. You're who you are today, presently. So be the best you can be. Be the best version of yourself. That's kind of oversaid now, but if you really think about what that means, like being intentional in every single moment you encounter. If you are flipping out and you need to tone it back a notch, it's okay to tone it back. Like, just stop speaking and walk away and reformulate your thoughts and raise them. So all of that being said, you can make this business happen, any business happen really, if you have the guts to. And I don't know how else to say that, but to get out of your own way. Like, all of you who think that you're struggling and can come up and tell me 10 million excuses, I will give you an answer back that that's an excuse. Fix it. You can't let your excuses stop you from creating something great, because yeah, you might have to have your kids here. You might have to do this. You might have to do that. Well, I can't today because my daughter's homesick. Well, guess what? If your daughter was homesick and you built a business where you could stay home all the time, and it wouldn't matter if she's like, are you going to stop if your kid's homesick and you're working from home? Are you going to stop working? Are you going to let your clients down? Like, stop with the excuses and overcome that fear. It's just fear and worry. Those are two false beliefs, like two things that aren't real. So sorry, I'm reading again. You just have to get out of your own way. And every excuse that you say, you're just either being lazy or you're letting things distract you. They're distractions. You can make time. Look at Lauren. She's the perfect example of it. She makes time no matter what she has going on, no matter what kids' activities she has going on, or if she's moving or selling her house, or like trying to find a new house. She doesn't make excuses. She makes it happen. She still shows up every day. So you just have to start showing up for yourself. Now I'm going to give you 10 tips that might help you, or 10 thoughts, really, 10 guidelines, 10 of my strongest beliefs. So hopefully you'll enjoy these. First of all, you want to find out what everybody's asking you about and find a way to make that your paycheck. What are people asking you about? Is it where you get your workout clothes? Is it how you do your hair? Is it your makeup? Is it your food and nutrition? Is it your recipes? Share about it and build those relationships, which are those relationships, and turn into a paycheck. Number 2 is that we are not human doings, we are human beings. It's not about what you do, it's about who you be. And this ties back to those relationships. I don't care what you do. Show me who you are. Show me what you're made of. Show me what you've been through. Show me your darkest places, and show me your brightest achievements, victories. Tell people who you are, not what you do. And I think that's something that a lot of Beachbody coaches struggle with. They go immediately to what they can do. It's not about what you do. It's about who you be. I connect with my clients because I connect with them. I would say all of my clients and I have a really close relationship. Maybe it's because I know all of their secrets. No, I'm kidding. But I have a close relationship with them because I take the time to build it. I take the time to listen. That's what Lauren said a minute ago. I listen. That's the easiest thing to do. Do y'all realize that? Quit talking about everything you do and just be kind and genuine, and let the other person have the floor for 2 seconds. Ask questions that provoke them to talk. Get specific about your goals and make them visible so you can see them daily. It's really important to have your goals in front of you because you'll surpass them most likely. If you define them, like at the very first of the year, maybe you define quarterly goals. I like to define big yearly goals and then break it down into quarterly and then monthly. So if I have the big annual goal, then I know each quarter I have to do this. And then I know from there I can break it down, divide by 3, and then I have the 3 months that what I need to do monthly. And then you just work to hit those benchmarks, and then the goal's achieved. So the next thing is when creativity is lacking, feed into your curiosity because it's the perfect substitute. If you're struggling to get going, if you're struggling of how to formulate a post or how to make a graphic or what you want your brand and your look to be, but you can't creatively develop that, start Googling, start Pinteresting, be curious about what the style is, what style you like. Go to Pinterest, create a board, like get curious about all of those things. Look into what other people have done. Not saying I want you to copy other people, but you have to have some inspiration to go off of. Nothing is original. Everything at some point has been created before. That's why they have that Picasso, I think it's Picasso says, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. And there's this saying like steal like an artist because all pieces of art were inspired by something they've previously seen or heard. And I mean, even everything I'm telling you on this call, I've developed somewhere in my life. I've heard it somewhere. It's knowledge that has gone into my brain at some point so it can then come out. Nothing's original. So you have to go get curious about what you're wanting your look to be, what you're wanting your strategy to be. Like, approach it as a business. You don't have to be creative. To say I'm not creative is bullshit. The next thing is work hard in silence and let your success make the noise. This was my number one quote that I kept telling myself whenever I was dealing with jail and labor detail and all of that crap. Like, I'm not going to go out there and tell everybody that, look at me, look at what I'm doing, look at what I did this month. No, I'm going to let it build up. And after a year, I'm going to be like, yo, mom, look at my taxes. I got to pay a lot of money, but look what I did. Like, work hard in silence. Don't brag about yourself. Even humble bragging is a trait that's unlikable. Like, people don't like to, I agree, like with your team, that's a different story, but publicly, work hard in silence, let your success make the noise. Let all of your coaches talk about you. Let the buzz that you create with people speak to others about who you are. Like, I think that's why I was so successful. I've never done anything with, like, I haven't marketed myself. I barely ran any Facebook ads because the buzz was strong enough about me that I didn't have to. Like, that's the best way to create it, especially when you don't have any money to build it to begin with. So work hard in silence and let your success make the noise. Another one is, if you are not actively creating something, you're probably actively destroying something. Our minds have to be busy, and so that's the idea behind that, is create. Don't let the demons win. The next thing is, am I going too fast? Okay. We'll get a kitty dance. All right. So the next thing is find the courage to confront your insecurities. I knew you wouldn't like that, Lauren. Find the courage to confront your insecurities. Your insecurities are what is stopping you from creating something awesome. Your insecurities are what's holding you back from discovering your power, from discovering your purpose, and really coming into what you're really made of. Those insecurities are just distractions. Again, they're distractions. They're holding you back from your true potential. So confront them. I think I said something to that effect earlier, is you got to face your fears, and it's the same thing. The next thing is have an affair with your passion. And what I mean by this is whenever you have an affair. I don't have affairs, but let's hope none of y'all do either. So whenever somebody has an affair, they will do whatever it takes to spend 5 minutes with their lover. They'll skip meals. They'll stay up late. They'll do whatever they have to do to spend time with their lover. So stop treating your passion like some old, drab, unhappy marriage, and start treating it like an exciting, passionate lover. Dress up for it. Put lipstick on. Do your hair. Put some perfume on before you sit down at your desk. I'm serious. Like, it makes you feel better. It gives you confidence to approach the work ahead of you, and the messages that you send and the conversations you have are going to be much more upbeat, much more confident and productive. So find a way to get passionate about what you do in a way that's really going to push you to the next level and allow you to create something awesome, because you've put the time and energy and effort and excitement more than anything into it. Be like a postage stamp and stick with it until you get there. It's not going to come easy to y'all. Nothing worth having comes easy. And then the last thing I like to say is make magic happen. Figure out what it is about you that attracts people, and let that be your magic and let it shine bright. You know, like if you're burned out, I've been there. If you're at rock bottom, I've been there too. Like, you have to find a way to light that fire again. And I like to say that, you know, whenever you're a magic maker, a tiny, almost dead ember with a breath of fresh air can ignite a blaze of brilliance so bright that others can't help but be attracted to the light that shines from you. So light your fire again, get ignited, get into it, and go set the world on fire. Go light other people's fires. Build your tribe and make it bright and make it big and make an impact. So that's kind of all I really have, Lauren. I was going to say that anybody that, I do branding and graphics and all of that for people. So if any of the things I do is something that would interest you, if you book a call with me in the next 24 hours, I will mail you a sticker, a vinyl decal. And they're really cute. They're really, really cute. And we have kitties if you like kitties, but maybe you don't like kitties. This one's cute. Know your worth.
Those are cute. You used sticker mule, didn't you?
I always use.
Hey, look.
Oh, cute. I like that. Look at my light bulb that carries on.
I just got some stuff for our team from them.
I love Sticker Mule. We've printed so much with them. This is my favorite, my new favorite.
I love that. Something that I was told this last week was you get kind of in a pattern of sharing the same thing. I know I do, where I go into autopilot, and you can hear the same old, like Monday motivation, Tuesday transformation, water Wednesday, Thursday, blah, blah, blah. Everybody does that. And you said this, Charlotte, but everybody does that. So if we're doing what everybody else is doing, why would anyone want to follow us?
Yeah.
So this a couple weeks ago, someone said, you're silly. And I was like, I wasn't feeling very silly that day. I was feeling very stressed out, very bogged down. And they said, no, you're actually very silly. You need to let that show because people are going to connect with you. And it made me think, I don't know if you guys, what's the movie with Sarah Jessica Parker where she's like the fiance and she goes to see a family stone. It's that Christmas movie. I don't know if you guys seen it. But anyway, in that movie, she's very uptight and she's very rule follower and she's very just by the book, very smart. And it's one of my favorites. And one of the brothers says, you have a freak flag. You need to let it fly. And it's one of those funny things because it's not a negative thing. Like he's not saying you need to go crazy, you need to do something stupid, saying you need to let people see who you really are because people are going to love you like I love you and I see you. And so it was something, it totally went on with like light your fire, allow people to see you, make magic happen. Magic happens when you're you because then you feel like I am connecting people on a level that I've always wanted to connect with them on. And why have I been holding this back? I've been afraid of what? And so, I love those 10 things. And I've shared with them, what you did with me and asking all the questions and doing like the interview and everything. And I have so much content that's me and I can add to it because it's in a Google Doc and it's always going to be there. And I've asked them to do this exercise where, you pick out 5 or 6 things, tell your story to someone, and you pick out 5 or 6 things that are uniquely you, but then you've got to write stories, like your stories to those things because no one else has those. And then don't be afraid to share them because I promise you that there is tons of people who are out there thinking, I'm the only one. And when they read what you wrote or how you shared or what you said, they're like, oh my gosh, I need to know her because she gets me. And so that's what I love. You go.
Well, what I was going to say is to add to that, it's not even about people understanding or having been in your shoes, but like me sharing with others my story. I hope that the people I'm communicating with haven't been through that. I don't want to be associating with that social class. Like that might sound snobby, but I'm sorry. I'm a person that wants to surround myself with people that are a level up. You always want to be, you never want to be the smartest person in the room. So like adding to that is whenever you share stories like that, it makes people like reflect on themselves and think about, well, wow, she went through that and did that. Well, what am I complaining about? Or why aren't, like, my struggle might be bad and even just as bad as hers, but she did it, so I can too. Like, it's just about creating this culture and attracting and inviting people who can relate on some level or another.
Yeah. I will say not everything needs to be shared. So if it's not going to help you move forward or connect with people, it's probably not necessary to share it. But you've got to be able to pick and choose the things that you're passionate about. They're going to inspire and connect you with people. So not everything.
Like a trial and error thing, or if it's something that you feel totally uncomfortable sharing, don't share it. I'm not pushing you to share your deepest, darkest secrets unless you need to be pushed to share about something. Like, I'm not a person that's going to make you expose your life because I said so, you know. I don't think it's smart to share if you feel uncomfortable, because then the confidence goes out the window.
Yeah. I'm going to share something with you guys. So I shared a couple weeks ago about melanoma. I shared, you know, what it's like to hear the word skin cancer and encouraging people to get checked. And it was a very positive post, and it was really heartfelt because it was an emotional thing. I did not intend, or I did not expect someone to take it negatively and to attack. And that one person stole my passion. One person. And I don't want you guys to ever feel that way, because one person shouldn't steal your joy or your purpose or your passion. And I let that person do that, and it wrecked me for days. And I went back and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. That is not the reason for that post. That person is wrong. She's got different things going on in her life. I'm going to continue to stand up and be bold, because if your heart is in the right place and you're not looking for attention, like Charlotte said, be humble. You're trying to inspire people. You're trying to help them. You are always going to have people who don't get it. You're always going to have people who misinterpret or assume or want to compare or, but don't let that steal anything from you or feed the fear. I just had to say that to you guys, because you each have amazing stories and things that I know you're not sharing. And I just want you guys to break out of that shell and really experience the magic of connecting with people, and deepening the relationships we have on our team. Because when I know that in being with you guys, with some of you face to face or just having these Zoom calls or whatever, we've developed deeper connections that will never be broken. And so that's my heart's desire for our larger team, is to continue to do that. But in doing that, we've got to get over the fear, you know, of maybe the past or whatever. And so I just wanted to say that as well, because we each have crap that we're going through, and we just have to understand that as a team, we're trying to move forward. So, yeah.
I agree with that. Don't let those people steal your thunder. Don't let them influence you in any way, shape, or form. They're not your people. They're not, that message wasn't intended for them. But know that somebody got something good out of it. Like,
yeah,
you do know that, Lauren. You inspired so many people, and that one person.
Oh yeah, and I'm not looking for attention. It was a good example, I think, of like one person, you know.
Right. And that one person can have such an impact on you, but that's where you have to check yourself, and you did, like, and say, wait, I helped a whole bunch of people. Why am I worried about this person? I'm not going to change who I am or what I'm saying because one person disagrees. Like, I disagree with people every day, and it doesn't mean, like, the good thing about it is they are following you, and they took the time to give you attention on that post. So who knows, maybe they were just having a really shitty day and had a bunch of stuff going on that influenced them, and they're a big follower and they're following every post you post because they are your tribe. They could be hurting inside and really just need that daily inspiration. You never know. Like, people come around. People are angry with themselves when they're stuck in a place that they don't want to be. And those are the people that you can help transform sometimes. Sometimes you can't. I'm not saying to go latch onto those people by any means, but definitely don't let them steal your power.
And we've got to have thick skin. I mean, if we're really, convicted and we know that we're doing the right thing, then we've got to focus on that and not other things. And I think that's something that I've had to learn. And I know that we have a lot of sensitive people on our team because, like you said, we're all connected in some way. We're all like alike in a lot of ways. And so we're passionate, but we're also deeply feeling. And so we can't let the feelings and emotions of others steal our joy, if that makes sense. So I love these 10 things. You have not said all these things to me, you stinker. I've only heard like 3 of them. So I keep getting more little tidbits from you, which I love. But I just encourage you guys to really think about these things, these 10 things, and what they mean to you. And something that you were so right about, you said, what did you say? You get stuck? Oh, if you're not actively creating something, you're probably actively destroying something. Doing something new and creating something new sucks. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's not enjoyable because it tests you, it challenges you, it changes you. And change can be really hard. But at the end of the day, it's also really, really good because you get to create something new. And so she's right. If they're looking for something and you're not even know where to start, we have so many resources. But like I said, when I'm looking for something, like a craft project, you know, a theme for a party, I go and I search different words and I find out exactly what I want by the things that I latch onto. So making that board, you'll find out what your favorite color is. You'll find out the fonts you love. You'll find out what your favorite decorative element is. You'll find out what you gravitate towards by doing these little boards. We used to call them dream boards, but like Charlotte does the graphics boards for her clients, and they're really cool because you get to see it all together, and you get to see your colors, you get to see your fonts, you get to see your graphics, you get to see all of that stuff, and you're like, yep, that's me. That's me on a board. But do that with other areas of your life. Do that with the things that you're researching. Do that, with nutrition. Do that with, some kind of craft project you love, and share the things that you're passionate about. And you're going to find other people who are just as passionate. And the other thing was like, what are people asking you about? How to make that your paycheck? What other things are you about? You're not just Beachbody. You aren't Beachbody.
What are you going to do in Beachbody if Beachbody goes away?
Yeah, there's so much.
To have a business. Beachbody is a tool on your tool belt. Beachbody is not your job title. It's not you're an entrepreneur. Start acting like it.
And if you don't know what that means, Google it or Pinterest it. What's an entrepreneur?
If you don't know what entrepreneur is, okay, well then, go do your research. Start treating this like a real business.
Yeah. And you are your biggest, not spokesperson, but advocate. Yes, but I wanted to say something that I shared a call with my team. Emily, I can't say her last name, Flau, Flavel. Anyway.
It's Favre.
There it is, Fauver. Yes, I was like, there's no L. Thank you, Ashley.
Welcome.
She was talking about how she's been a coach for 4 years. She's done nothing. And because her upline was pregnant, she got this opportunity to be in the 80-day obsession test group. She realized this was a gift. This wasn't just oh, sweet, I'm going to be in a test group and I should probably, pay attention to this. She went all in. You guys, we have opportunities every time we do a program with 2B Mindset, with Lift 4, with anything we do. We are our best advertising, our clients. Getting them to share, celebrating them, having them share more, talking about the results, talking about the transformations. But if we are not 100% in and we're not willing to say how this is changing our life, why should anybody else join us? Why? Why should I join you if you're not living the life that you're trying to sell me? And so that makes me a little bit more accountable, because if I, don't show up with a transformation, or if I don't show that I'm changing from the inside out, or that I'm constantly trying to evolve, why would somebody else want to work with me? So it's sharing all of that, not just the outside, but the inside and what we're learning. So anyway, now we got to go because it's like 10 o'clock on the East Coast and people are falling asleep. I know. Tracy's like, yeah, sister. Some of you guys wake up super early, right? Not me. No, Tracy does. Charlotte's like, not me. Um, Charlotte, I really appreciate your time. You guys, she posted her link right here to chat. Go chat with Charlotte. Definitely chat with Charlotte and just enjoy that, because that one-on-one is really cool. So,
it's much better than the group settings. Trust me. Like, I'm such a good one-on-one, but then I get in front of groups and I'm like, oh God, like. But I'm really cool one-on-one. We could be best friends.
Yeah. So anyway, I really appreciate you taking the time and all you've done for our team. Love it. So I'll talk to you later, girl, and I'll post this recording. But you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome night. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.